Hey guys, Karibu tena. Welcome back to my channel. It is coming up on a new month of me filming videos. I'm still trying to work on the quality of my videos, and because of that, I think I'm really just sticking to like 3 videos a month instead of 4. I would like my goal to be 4, but in order for me to have enough time to put into making the quality good, so far I've only been able to kick out 3 a month. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about how to prep for your NCLEX day and the kind of things that you need to know on your NCLEX day. Before I get too deep into the video, I do want to mention that if you guys are enjoying my content, please like and subscribe because it really helps me continue to put out this content and have the time and resources to put more into these videos. I'm very passionate about it. I'm pretty much gonna do it regardless, but 11% of my viewers are actually subscribed, and these are returning viewers. So if you're returning, why not hit the button? It doesn't cost you anything. All that aside, whether you're subscribed or not, I still love you guys. But yeah, it'll just help me continue to do what I love to do. And if you guys are enjoying it, don't forget to comment either. I love hearing y'all's video suggestions, and I do take them. So if you want to DM me through my Instagram, which the handle is in the description box below, or if you want to comment a video idea, I'm all ears, ready to hear. So with that bit of the introduction out of the way, let's get into the video. So let's talk about NCLEX as a whole and the day and how it's gonna go. So you're probably either studying right now if you're watching this video, or you've already scheduled your NCLEX, or you're just trying to gauge how the NCLEX day is gonna work. So just to preface, this video is not gonna tell you what you need to know for your NCLEX, like the test itself, but it's what you need to know for the day of testing. So kind of like how the testing center is gonna work, things you may wanna bring or not bring, how early you wanna get there, and so on and so forth. So I found I wasn't able to find very many of these videos, and I had to ask people that had taken NCLEX a year prior to me at work. But I felt like being able to talk to somebody and have them explain to me how the day itself was gonna go eased my nerves a lot. So that's what I want to share with you guys to begin with. So at this point, you're either waiting for your approval to test, so your ATT, which is something that we all have to apply for as nursing students, and that your school will walk you through. The approval to test is after you have completed your schoolwork and you have your final transcript. Your school sends your transcript. You also go and you get fingerprint testing done. So you send those 2 things and you submit an application form, and there might be something else that you send at this point. I don't know if anything's changed since I've taken it, but usually those 3 things you submit, and if they send you back an approval to test, that means you've got the green light to sign up for NCLEX. So there's a whole website that you'll go to, and usually your school will provide you that link, and when you submit your approval to test, you'll have to make a login. And that login is where you're gonna find out whether or not you passed the NCLEX later on. So you've got your approval to test, you're scheduling your NCLEX, now what? What does the day look like? What are you supposed to dress as? Do you wear scrubs? No. But how should you dress? Are people gonna be friendly? How early should you arrive? These were all questions that I had. So let's talk about how you need to dress first. So I would definitely dress somewhat warmly, because at least when I went to the testing center, and from what I heard from other people, it usually gets pretty chilly. The biggest thing though is that you probably want to avoid like sweaters with pockets and anything that might get padded down and that sort of thing. So I wore a sweatshirt. Some people wear a long sleeve shirt, and then I wore sweatpants without pockets. So it just made it a little bit easier. My biggest fear was being accused of like sneaking something in or having a cheat sheet somewhere when I really didn't, or getting patted down and like maybe I had a receipt in my pocket or something like that. So I just didn't want to take the chance, and I made sure I wore an outfit that didn't have pockets on it, and then I left my jacket with pockets in the car. So that was the first thing that I did. The second thing you're gonna have to do is a lot of times they're gonna check your glasses if you wear glasses. So you may wanna wear contacts unless you just feel more comfortable wearing your glasses, but you also cannot wear smart glasses. So they will be checking your glasses to make sure you don't have anything written in them and that it's not like smart glasses. So that was another thing. I know some people wore their contacts just to avoid having that happen. But yeah, just make sure you're aware of that. And then also no hats. You cannot wear hats into your NCLEX testing. So avoid that. They're gonna make you put it away anyways. Whether they take it off and check it, most of the time they just put it away or give you a key with a locker that you can put all your stuff in until you're done testing. But I just didn't wear a hat. I just wore like a really high ponytail. You're also not supposed to have anything at all in your pockets, which is why I chose an outfit without pockets. So they're gonna make you empty your pockets out and pull them out like that so you don't see anything in them. I will link my NCLEX day video in the description box below and you guys can actually see my outfit for yourself. And I may mention a few things from the day in there. So what to bring, not to bring. I was lucky enough that my testing center had people who had worked there a very long time, and there was an older gentleman and an older woman, and they were very kind, strict, but very kind. And basically the gentleman gave us each a key so we had a locker to put our stuff away, and he said the only thing you need to bring in here is your knowledge. So we, like I said already 3 times before, we emptied our pockets, could not have your phone, could not have your keys, could not have anything. So I actually had my dad take me, so it was a little bit easier to just leave everything with him, and he wasn't gonna go anywhere. He was just gonna stay in the parking lot. So if you don't have that option to have somebody stay with your stuff, then taking the stuff in to get a locker is totally fine. I just didn't want to worry about it. So I left my phone with my dad, my keys with my dad, my purse with my dad, everything. And I literally just took the knowledge in with me. So what happened from there? Well, there was kind of a long line to wait. I got there half an hour early. I actually think I got there 45 minutes early, because the thing is, there's gonna be a line that forms outside the door, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of person that wants to just go in, sit down, take the test, and leave. I want it done ASAP, because the longer I wait, the more I start to overthink and get nervous, so the sooner I do things, the better it goes for me. It might be different for other people, but I will say that if you want to get in a timely manner, go 45 to 30 minutes early. I mean, most of your day is gonna be around taking your NCLEX anyways. Hopefully you haven't scheduled anything else, because you need to take that time to go and then maybe celebrate afterwards. I was the first person to get there, but there was a line of at least 20 people behind me. And it took each person probably like 5 to 10 minutes to like get checked in, patted down. They put your hands up on a screen to scan your fingerprints to make sure that they match with the fingerprints that you sent in when you got your approval to test, just to make sure that they match and you're not trying to take the test for somebody else. They'll take your photo, and from there they'll ask you a few questions like, is this your name? Can I see your license? Which is another thing. You do need your identification. That is like the only thing you need to bring in with you. They'll want your ID, and then after that, they'll have you sit down, and then when you're ready, they'll give you a number, and then they'll call you back. And I don't know if every testing center is different. It might be, but for the most part, I hear it's pretty standardized like that. They'll call your number, you'll go back, and they'll do like one more check right before you go back, and then you'll sit down in almost like this little cubicle thing where you've got walls next to you. You get a pair of headphones, like noise canceling headphones, and then you get one sheet of paper and one pencil, which is provided to you in case you need to do like dosage calculations or write down information. So I found that that was helpful to me. So kind of a tip, once you get that piece of paper, if you have anything that you need to write down, just go ahead and write it down on that paper. And before you leave, you'll have to give that paper up to whoever checked you in. So basically I sat there and took the questions as they popped up. Somebody had to go back, turn on the test, and then I was able to start clicking through. And I started going through my questions one by one. And I will say something that scared me, and I think I talk about it in my NCLEX day video, was I got to question 75 and the screen went blank. But then the next thing that happened was I started to get more questions. I'm like, I thought I was done. And they were case study questions. And I'm like, oh crap. I have not studied for this kind of stuff at all. And the lady came over and finally told me, oh yeah, you've just been selected to like fill this out. You don't have to do it, but it's for like research, because I think at some point in the future, they're wanting to make NCLEX based off of case study questions. And I'm like, heck no, I'm done with this test. I've done my due diligence and I want to get out. So that may be a possibility. Just because you get to question 76 and it's a case study question does not mean that you failed or you're continuing your test. It may be that you've been chosen to do that and see if you can answer the case study questions so that they can use that research later. Then once you're all done, you just raise your hand and wait for somebody to come see you. They take the paper from you. They make sure you don't have anything on you. You will have your license the entire time, because they check it a second time back there once you've been checked in the first time. So it'll be sitting on the desk next to you. They come, they take the paper, and you can leave. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't have anything in there with me. I went back to the front and they're like, yeah, you're good. Go ahead and go home. So I did. The last thing I will mention is bathroom breaks, because this is something that is a little anxiety inducing for some people. And certainly me, I definitely peed like 10 times before going in, because I did not want to get out of my seat if I did not have to. But if that happens, you literally just raise your hand and they come, they see you, and I think they'll walk you back to like a separate bathroom and just make sure that you don't have anything on you going in and coming out and things like that. But for the most part, if you can, try to avoid going to the bathroom, because it's just kind of a whole ordeal if you have to. Stay hydrated, but maybe don't drink too much right before you go in. And if you're not a coffee drinker, don't drink coffee before you go in, and have that natural diuretic that, yeah, you don't want to really use the bathroom if you don't have to while you take the test. And once you're all done with that, you go home, and usually it takes about 2 days to get your NCLEX results. Some people will find out via email. They'll get an email from the website that I mentioned beforehand, or you may log on and see that you have a little screen, like little icon on your screen that says pass. Some people will do the trick to try to find out whether or not they've passed. There's like a credit card trick, which other YouTubers talk about, that you can do, and I tried out and it worked. I just didn't believe it, because sometimes it works for people, sometimes it doesn't. So it worked for me. I got the good pop-up or whatever it was, because it wouldn't accept my credit card for a second payment. But on that day, I was just nervous and didn't really trust it. But if you haven't gotten the passing sign on the website yet, you can look up your nursing license on nurses.com. And it's nurses with a Y. So you can type in your name, and if your name pops up and you have a license number and it says unencumbered, you pass, basically. A few last bit of pieces of information that I want to share with you guys for your NCLEX is, one would be to actually visit the testing site that you want to go to. That way, in case you have to take a couple of turns, or it's deep inside a building or on a different level, you know exactly where you're going to go. So if you can, at least the day before, if not earlier, visit your testing site, or maybe even call the testing center and say, hey, can you give me directions to where it is? That way you don't show up and you're surprised when you can't find it, or it's a little hard to get to. Another tip is to definitely eat breakfast and drink something before you go to your test, because your stomach's probably gonna wanna turn over because you're anxious, but still have something to eat. That way you're not sitting there with your stomach growling, or you feel faint because it may be an early testing time. And yeah, you wanna feel fueled. And then the last tip is to please believe in yourself. You worked this hard, and if you've graduated nursing school, you can absolutely pass the NCLEX. You made it. We've actually done studies that show that you have a higher chance of passing any test if you have a positive outlook on it, as opposed to a negative outlook. And you have the chance of increasing your score on tests if you have a positive outlook on your testing abilities and your abilities as a whole. So stay positive, guys. You're gonna make it through. I know I was in your seat just last year freaking out, and I felt like everybody who told me not to freak out was a non-nursing major or not a medical professional. And it's like, you don't understand. This test is going to define whether I'm a nurse or not. And you can always retake it. I hate throwing that in there, but it's true because some of the best nurses I know have had to take their NCLEX more than once. So if that's you, please don't fret, but still have a positive outlook on it. And lastly, this might sound silly, but I want you to celebrate when you're done with your NCLEX. I don't care if you passed or not, you should celebrate because you went through 4 years of schooling. You went through some hard, long clinical hours. You studied late, some long freaking nights, and you studied hard for your NCLEX. So you deserve to celebrate whether or not you passed, because sitting down with somebody that I loved and being able to talk about it just reminded me that, hey, the NCLEX, even though it's a big deal and it means a lot. There's other things in life that are an even bigger deal, like my dad and being with family and my mom, and just having that moment to sit down and reflect over the past 4 years in nursing school and the people who had come alongside me was just a sweet thing to think about, because none of them cared whether or not I passed or failed. They cared whether or not my well-being was good. And that's all that I have for you guys. If you have questions for me, please leave them in the comments below. Like I said before, I'll do my best to answer them. Of course, every testing center is going to be different. Every nursing school is going to be a little bit different. And they may require different things for your application. So I've tried to keep this video pretty generalized, but those are the things that were told to me and things that I personally experienced going to the testing center. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed. Tutunana. See you guys later.